Today's topic is something which is very dear to your heart.
Dharohar is a family foundation. As a family, we are based in Udaipur in Rajasthan. It is family wealth which is invested. Sanskrit scholars or people with interest can access them easily. So that's what Dharohar does.
The third part, which is Sanskrit, is something which will benefit not only India, but I think globally.
Our ancient knowledge has got lost because our invaders destroyed our library. Aping the West for the sake of aping the West is not ideal for India. And reach the same place in 40 years' time, 30 years' time.
We have learned a lot about history, but I think our administration, our rules, our regulations, they were definitely there, and they may be better than what they were today. Actually,
Indian knowledge systems are forgotten. Worst things that British colonizers did was convinced us Indians that their way of life is better than our own traditional way of life.
hello everyone. At Cedrus, we believe that wealth not only needs to be created, but needs to be contributed for the benefit of the society at large. Today we have Mr. Sanjaya Singhal, a very well-known family from Udaipur, a very successful industrialist, and they are one such family who not only have been successful businessmen, but also have contributed in a very unique way to the benefit of the society. Today's topic, which is more to do on Sanskrit, and Mr. Sanjay Singhal has been contributing for the cause of Sanskrit since a while now, has made immense contribution and benefit to the society. Their organization Dharohar has been front runners in preserving old manuscripts, which typically are in Sanskrit and which would not only benefit the society at large, but also would help the current and future generation in reviving Sanskrit as a language. So let's not take too much time, and I would ask a few questions related to Dharohar to Mr. Sanjay. Welcome, Sanjay sir, and thank you very much for taking time out.
My pleasure.
From your busy schedule, which you have in Pune, which you call Pune.
Pune.
And I think today's topic is something which is very dear to your heart.
Yes, indeed.
I thought, why not for the wider audience? It would be of great help for them also to understand what you've been doing. In fact, so my first question to you is to talk about Dharohar, which is your brainchild. It's a non-profit organization which you started as a contribution for building resilient communities of lifelong learners. Can you tell us more about this initiative?
Dharohar is a family foundation. As a family, we are based in Udaipur in Rajasthan. We are deeply rooted in that city. And one of the things we know, you can't change the world, but you can change your areas of influence alone. So we said, how can we work within Udaipur and make Udaipur more resilient and make the communities of Udaipur, particularly the youth, more engaged with the city, more engaged with each other, more engaged with their communities. So that was the starting point. And it is family wealth which is invested in this. So it's coming from, the foundation is the charitable arm of our family. And Dharohar has three broad verticals. One is education, the second is environment, and the third is Sanskrit. So on the education front, we started in 2004, I think it may have been even earlier, with a schools program where we took out science, almost games, interactive things which explained science to schools. And we used to touch about 100, 150 schools, 4,000-5,000 students a year, and get people engaged in science, play, and at the same time learn aspects of science. And then it gradually has grown to what is now Third Space, which is a big 135,000 square foot center where communities can come together, and we bring together art, science, and culture. Those are three things which are unique to Third Space. I mean, there are science centers, there are art galleries, and there are cultural centers. But Third Space is one of those places where all three can come together. So I'll give you an example. There's a group of 20, 25 young girls and boys, college going, probably post college, who get together every week as a sort of a debating club. Tark vitark bolte hain apne aap ko. And they are debating issues of importance for the day. It's not debate as you get in college and school where one is, but this is about discussing and figuring out what is going on in the world and being able to critically think. So like-minded people can get together, and hence the name Third Space. There's home, there's work, and then there is your third space where you can just come and hang out and do things. So that's on the education side. Of course, our schools program, the school science program continues. Third Space also caters to gaps within the education system. For instance, most government schools don't have laboratories for their science curricula. So we've got science laboratories where students can come and do their practical experiments and things like that. So that's the role that the education part is doing. Then the environment side is about, we call the program 10 lakh Vriksh. The aim is to plant through the community, through a community engagement program, 1 million trees in and around them. And the second arm of this is to develop public parks and public green spaces. So we've greened 120 acres of hillside. As you know, Udaipur is beautiful with hills all around. Regreened barren hillside, 120 acres. We've taken 3 or 4 public parks, redesigned them, and rebuilt them, and we maintain them. So that's the second aspect. And the third one, which is to me the most important and the most interesting, which is what we call our Sangrah division. India has a lot of manuscripts, and these manuscripts are all over hidden. And we are trying to digitize them. We are trying to catalog them and put the catalog on the internet so that Sanskrit scholars or people with interest can access them easily. So that's what Dharohar does. And it's a family foundation.
Wonderful. And in fact, I had visited Udaipur, I had visited Third Space, and it's one of its kind. I have not seen this in India also. And the beauty, what I liked the most over there was your library. You're an avid reader, I know.
Yes.
Okay. And
that library was not curated by me.
Yeah.
But that library was curated for the age group. And we cater to the age group 10 to 35, really. It was curated by a specialist. So, yeah.
So wonderful. So you have people, nature, as well as Sanskrit as a language.
Our ancient culture, yes.
So 3 different verticals altogether, and I'm sure the third part, which is Sanskrit, is something which will benefit not only India, but I think globally.
Yeah.
In fact,
our ancient knowledge has got lost. Some of it is lost because our invaders destroyed our libraries. I mean, the famous cases of Takshila and Nalanda, and these were systematically destroyed. Every invader has taken from us rather than leaving behind. And thankfully, this knowledge has remained with fewer and fewer people, but it has remained. And then a lot of it is consigned to handwritten manuscripts, and this is what really our target is. And you find beautiful gems of knowledge when you do uncover them from these manuscripts. And our job is really that of a librarian. Go to people who have these manuscript collections, build trust with them, get them to sign an MOU, and then go and digitize their collection. So I'll give you an example of a Vedic scholar in Pune. This gentleman is in his late 80s. His sons are no more studying the Vedas. And we approached him. He agreed. We signed an MOU. And then we sent our scanning equipment, which we've incidentally built ourselves, to his house. And over a period of 30-40 days, our machine operator giving full respect to his collection, because these are revered books.
True.
They're sacred books, and there is a lot of reverence associated with them. We digitized it. And there we found one particular manuscript which is, so far in my knowledge, unique, to do with certain aspects of the Ved which are not published elsewhere. So that's how we are uncovering interesting new knowledge. And now, if a scholar will pick this manuscript up and will figure out what's written in there and then publish it, that'll add to the overall expanse of Sanskrit literature which is out there for the general public. So that's how we work, and it's a team of now 65 people. And my background was in technology. Securemeters was the family firm that I founded, 1985, 86. And so I brought the technology side. I'm no Sanskrit scholar. But over the last 5-6 years working with all of this, I've learned a lot of Sanskrit myself. But my core contribution is that in technology, in quality, in processes, all the good things that good businesses do. So, yeah.
I think the intent is more important.
Yes.
That,
It is critical. The Indian knowledge systems are forgotten. And one of the worst things that our British colonizers did was convinced us Indians that their way of life is better than our own traditional way of life. So the fact that I'm speaking to you in English,
absolutely.
the fact that we go to universities for education, all of these things, and this is really a transition in the last 180 years, 170 years, which in reality is 5 or 6 generations. So in 5 or 6 generations, we lost that knowledge. We can revive it, and we can put it in the modern context. Let me give you an example. There are ancient systems for taxation. How should tax be applied to agriculture? How should it be applied to trade? What should taxation policy be during times of war, during times of famine? And these concepts were around from the times of the Ved. Are they relevant today? Well, tax is relevant today.
True.
Is that policy relevant today? Absolutely. Can we implement it today? I think that tax policy will fit better to India than our present tax policies do. But it takes a lot of political will. But at least let's put it out there that here is an alternative that we within our culture had found useful and sensible. And in that way, there is a lot in terms of politics, in terms of diplomacy, in terms of international trade. There's a lot of knowledge. And that knowledge can fit in the context of the modern world. Because a lot of people think, क्या मतलब है सबका, भारत सोने की चिड़िया थी, भारत में इतना ज्ञान था, अब कहाँ गया, क्यों गया, और अब मतलब क्या उस ज्ञान का. So this is unfortunately the default that the British colonizers wanted us to reach. Okay, what we have has no meaning. And we need to come away from that. The cultural integrity of India has held India together. So many invaders came. The Mughals came, before the Mughals, the Shaks, the Huns, everybody came. Yet we as a society have stayed together. Even though we may have been, hundreds of princely states, and even if those princely states were fighting, there was something Indian about us that kept us together.
Absolutely.
And that something Indian still exists. We fail to recognize it. And this sort of knowledge needs greater propagation. So, manuscripts are hard for people to read. They are in Sanskrit, sometimes they are in different scripts also. But what you can get is experts to interpret the Sanskrit and take that knowledge to other scholars for further research or to the general public. And it's that kind of thing that Sangrah wants to facilitate. because give or take 1 crore manuscripts in India. They are in government libraries, in university libraries, but that's only about 40-50%.
Even after destroying, after
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many manuscripts
even
have
after
got
destruction.
destroyed.
Absolutely. Even after. Now, this 1 crore number is also
Hmm.
debatable.
Hmm.
The smallest I've seen is 60 lakhs. The biggest I've seen is 3 crores.
Hmm.
The central estimate is around 1 crore. The government of India also today thinks there is about 1 crore.
Hmm.
They are in all sorts of places. Private trusts have them.
Hmm.
Individual scholars have them. And they're getting lost because they're written on organic materials like paper, like a palm leaf, And these things have a finite life.
True.
I almost say that we are in a crisis situation with manuscripts because writing fundamentally stopped around the mid 20th century. And the earliest manuscript, for instance, that we have unearthed is the 15th century.
Oh.
Now, 15th century is already 500 years,
True.
and it is already 600 years. And the life of paper is not 600 years. It is just great fortune that this thing survived in a day. And so, we unearthed a manuscript the other day, which is the deployment of the ministers of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, his court, and which minister is supposed to do what their roles are. Now, that's a piece of history.
Absolutely.
Right? Maybe there are copies of it. Maybe it was a gazette almost. It feels like a gazette notification that so-and-so is going to be responsible for this, that, and the other. But these are important historical documents also.
Absolutely.
So there is things about science, there's things about culture, there's things about history. And they get revealed.
No, one very important thing is, we have learned a lot about history.
Yes.
But I think our administration, our rules, our regulations, they were definitely there, and they may be better than what they were today, actually. But they have, I think, forgotten. I think through manuscripts, we will actually revive a few of them, and maybe we could implement them and remove the copy-paste model, which we had post, independence. It's more of a copy-paste.
Yes.
Whatever the Britishers left, we are just continuing with that. Be it law, be it our defense, be it our accounts, taxations, everything.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, you're absolutely right. Aping the West for the sake of aping the West is probably not ideal for India. We need to find our own ways. And let's face it, if you look at the West, particularly in terms of economics, where has it landed those societies today? And what is the trajectory of those societies today? Do we want to ape them and reach the same place in 40 years' time, 30 years' time? Or do we want to find our own way? And if there is our own way, what is that own way? What was that own way? What was the principle that helped us become the world's largest economy? There was a way.
Absolutely.
We were the world's largest economy. We were more than 25% of the world GDP.
Absolutely.
Now, what got us there? We may not be able to adopt it directly, but at least we can learn lessons from history. And I'll give you one chota one. One very chota example. Take forests. In ancient Hindu culture, there was a Mahavan, which nobody went into. And it was left for the wild animals and so on and so forth. Then there was a Tapovan, just outside, where all the rishis, munis, gurukuls, and all of these things used to operate. After that was the Shri one. And the Shri one was a commercial forest. Shri, as in Lakshmi Shri,
Right.
was a commercial forest. So people could go there and harvest fruits and leaves and medicinal plants and so on and so forth. Now, the duties of the king involved the protection of all three. Shrivan because it generated wealth, Tapovan because it increased knowledge, and Mahavan because it increased biodiversity.
True.
Now, one other important interesting thing was the Rishi Munis never went to the Raja. The Raja came to the Rishi Munis. Now, what does that mean? When he is going to visit a Rishi ashram, he's actually inspecting the forest as he's going.
Mm-hmm.
He's seeing what is happening.
True.
And he can then act if there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take the forestry policy of today, everything is owned by the government and nobody can go in. There is no commercial aspect to the forest. And if a tiger lives there, you can't live there. And if you're a Rishi Muni, bad luck. Or even if you're a local resident, bad luck. Even if you're a Vanvasi, bad luck. Now, that is the Western way. And why was it the Western way? Because they wanted the timber to build the ships that they used for increasing their empire. Therefore, they said, we own the whole land. Now, is there a way where the community can work with forests and make it work? So this is the sort of knowledge from our past that can help our future.
This is extremely deep. If you ask me, it's not only about reviving Sanskrit,
Yeah.
but it's reviving our ancient ways of how we were governing the whole country. In fact, and even today, if you see, I think with the blessings of what happened in the previous generations, today also we have a lot of forests which are there, and thanks to what you just clearly mentioned, the rules which we had, in fact, that how the forests were inhabited, in fact. And that's thanks to them that whatever forest is left, and that also is good for us, and I hope it increases. It's all thanks to them. In fact, you have talked about Sangra, which was my question, and what I could really understand is it's beyond Sanskrit. Sanskrit is important because all the manuscripts are in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
But then it talks a lot about what happened previously in the previous, in the ancient times, in fact.
Let's put it this way. Sangra is a library. Okay. And we're doing a librarian's job. What happens in a library? You get a new book, you produce a catalog entry for it, and you keep it somewhere in your library. That's what happens. That's what we do with manuscripts. Now, a library is useful to scholars. The scholar may be a layperson, the scholar may be somebody who's doing their PhD, the library is useful to somebody who's, a professor at the same whatever. So, we are basically doing a librarian's job, but it is a very, very important job. Let me tell you a story. Why, when I started this, what triggered me to get here? Okay. I met a gentleman in Bangalore who wanted to do some research on the writings of an astronomer called Vriddha Gargi, who probably lived in the 6th or 7th century BCE. And he had made astronomical observations, and he wanted to get the manuscripts of Vriddha Gargi's teachings and publish them. He spent 13 years looking for the manuscripts. And by the time he found the manuscripts, it was time for him to retire. Now, 13 years is 13 years too long.
Absolutely.
In this day and age, I should be able to go on the web, should be able to search it, and should be able to download it within minutes. One of the ladies who was working for us was looking for a manuscript on grammar. Another boy who was working with us is doing his PhD on Dhanurved, the act of war, as it applies to Natya Shastra, the rules for dance and drama. And he couldn't find those manuscripts, and they struggled. Now, this has to become easy. This has to become easy. Because when it becomes easy, a lot of this stuff will come out. Take music and marching bands. That's war and music getting together. Similarly, Dhanurved, which is war and dance coming together. And then from dance going into the lives of normal people. Because ultimately dance is a discipline, and so is war.
Absolutely.
So it's scholars establishing those links are important. And we are enabling it. Because they don't have to then spend, 13 years looking for a manuscript of their or manuscripts of their interest. So that is really what we are doing, and it is important for scholarship. The other thing which, to me, I mean, I'm passionate about Sanskrit and our ancient knowledge. And if we technology enable it, then a lot of young people get attracted to it.
Right.
And the future of Sanskrit has to be as a digital humanity. And therefore, all the digital work which we are doing becomes important.
And today, if you see in schools and colleges, you don't have Sanskrit as a language, which is, at least it should be the third language. You have English, Hindi, and then you have some foreign languages, or a regional
Look,
language, but you don't have Sanskrit as a language.
I wouldn't say it should be. It really should be left to the students to decide which is the third language they want to learn. Thankfully, a lot of people are studying Sanskrit. In this southern half of India, definitely Sanskrit is still alive and thriving. In North India, it's a little weak, but nevertheless, it is there. We could do with more. Like with everything, we could do with more. And here, one very important contribution is coming from the Gurukuls. So there are Sanskrit Gurukuls, there are Ved Gurukuls who've taken up the teaching of language, who've taken up the teaching of the Ved as a parallel to the school education system. And the government now recognizes that these Gurukul students, as they graduate to A level, they become equivalent to 12th. And as they graduate to a next level, they become equivalent to a BA. And as they graduate to the third level, they become equivalent to an MA.
Right.
Which helps them with their jobs. So these Gurukuls, there are far and few between, but there are nevertheless there. And in my experience, having recruited people from the university system who passed their MAs and PhDs and things, and people from the Gurukulams, the Gurukul students outperform the MA students by a mile. And that is to be something for the whole of the education system to learn from, really. What is it that the Gurukuls do that give the students this critical thinking, this ability to think on their feet, the ability to innovate, which our school system doesn't do? So, but Sanskrit is definitely not dying.
Absolutely.
Sanskrit is very much alive, and a lot of people are taking it. Yes, of course, more should take it. That's what I would say.
And what you have been doing will definitely spread.
Yes, I hope so.
To to the betterment of people taking up Sanskrit, at large. What has been your inspiration? In fact, it's very unique because you have been a technocrat.
Yes.
Okay. And like you just mentioned previously that you have not been an avid Sanskrit person. I feel there would have been some inspiration which took you to Sanskrit actually, as a social cause.
Well, inspiration or not, I mean, I can tell you the story of how I got into it. Okay. I was very clear that at the age of 60, I will give up executive responsibilities within Secure Meters. I did not want to continue to lead that organization. And both my sons were joining the business. I got my board to help them integrate and so on. And I'd said to my board, I'll leave the executive responsibilities at the age of 60. It didn't happen when I was 60, it happened when it was 61. But when I was probably 52, 53, and I made up my mind to leave executive responsibilities at the age of 60, the big question in my mind was, what will I do? Because I just couldn't say that I'll improve my golf handicap and I'll travel, because that then is degenerative to the brain.
Right.
And the brain which had been so active through its life. So I went back to a book which I must have read umpteen times in my lifetime, which was the Mahabharata. And I said, look, I will spend my time reading the Mahabharata, learning Sanskrit, so that I can appreciate the Mahabharata in its original. Because all I had read was translations in Hindi and in English. Sanskrit I did not know. So that became the goal, honestly. So yeah, I started to learn Sanskrit. Then I also thought, well, maybe there's a lot of research opportunities in the Mahabharata. So I said, it's not an inspiration, it's an accident. But nevertheless, let me finish the story. So I started to research what areas of the Mahabharata had been researched and what needed further work.
Mm-hmm.
And in those searches, I came across this concept of computational linguistics for Sanskrit. And it was something I hadn't heard of at that time. This is way before all this large language models and things like that exist today.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what is this computational linguistics thing? So I began reading on computational linguistics as well. My background is in technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then something flipped. I said, if I read the Mahabharata in Sanskrit, I'm going to benefit myself. But if I could do something with computational linguistics, maybe not only will I get benefit and be gainfully employed for the rest of my life, but I will have also done a service to Sanskrit. So I then went out and attended the World Sanskrit Conference in Vancouver, heard and understood what was going on in the world of computers in Sanskrit. And I came back with 3 or 4 projects which were worth doing, which could help Sanskrit, and my knowledge of computers could help Sanskrit. So after 3 or 4 months, 5 months of figuring out the feasibility of A and B and C and D, I landed up with this manuscripts thing. And I've enjoyed it. It's been a huge learning experience for me. This is probably the only instance where somebody from the technology side of things has come in, technology and I'd say process and industrial side of things, has come into the world of Sanskrit. Because Sanskrit scholars are not good at managing. And people who know how to manage are not in Sanskrit. So I happily bridge the two. I'm not a Sanskritist, but I know what it stands for. And I know what is Tark Sangrah and I know what is Ashtadhyayi, and these are names of books. As a result, I can have an appreciation. I don't have to be an expert in them, but I can have an appreciation of what is being talked about. So, and it's been quite revealing. People who've seen our work have basically said, nobody does it this way.
No, and I think 2 things which inspire me over here. One is you knew when to stop.
Yeah.
So you prepared your next generation.
Yeah.
You saw to it, which I've not seen most of the large on the brand. You have had a successful industry. The largest, smart meter manufacturer in the world. That's right. And yet you hung your boots at 61. You had your children prepared with the professional team, and you moved on. And second thing is, you never stop learning. There's no age to stop learning. And I think that is what I have seen. I've been, seeing you since 10 years now. And I think these are some qualities because of which I've seen that you have always been grounded. Because you've not stopped learning. You've been a learner. You've picked up Sanskrit.
If you stop learning, you may as well be dead.
Absolutely.
You may as well be dead. There is always a better way. There is always something new happening. And in fact, there is so much that you can't learn everything. So you need a clear focus. And you're right, it is hard for people to leave a business which they founded and leave it quite in the way I have left it. I've
A successful business.
Zero executive responsibility. I don't even go to the office anymore. It is hard for people to do that, but I think my key was that I figured out what I wanted to do after. To find something which would keep me intellectually engaged and keep me learning. And I thankfully was able to find it. I was able to find it in my upbringing. I was able to find it in my past. And so that was that. Anybody who's thinking of retiring, that's always my advice. Particularly government servants, they know they're going to retire at a certain age, at 60 or whatever it is. And till the age of 59 years and 360 days, they haven't thought about what they're going to do next.
Very true.
So, age is something which is impending. It is coming. How long you will live, you don't know. One thing you do want is, as long as you live, at least you should have all your mental faculties and to the extent possible, your physical faculties around with you. You can't predict when you're going to go. Death is a certainty, when is a probability.
Absolutely.
So, but nevertheless, plan for it. If it is a certainty, plan for it.
With so much of clarity and with such inspiring thoughts, you must be facing some challenges actually. In fact, India is more, has more than, like you mentioned, 1 crore manuscripts. Many of them are still undiscovered or unpreserved. They are not preserved also, because I don't think a lot of people value them also. And so what do you What are the challenges you're facing in cataloging and digitizing them?
See, as far as Sangrah is concerned, we have proven that what we are doing is useful
Hmm.
because scholars are regularly visiting our website, downloading manuscripts,
Hmm.
and we now just need to scale.
Hmm.
Now, scaling is in two parts. Scaling is in our fieldwork,
Hmm.
and scaling is in cataloging. So, fieldwork means identifying people who have manuscripts,
Hmm.
building trust, signing MOUs, going out and doing the digitization. Just to give you numbers, because our monthly report was out last week, 68 libraries in the pipeline where we've got to go work towards an MOU.
Hmm.
Given current fallout rates, that will mean about 10 will sign. These 10 will keep some machines engaged, or digitization machines engaged.
Hmm.
But we need staff to do that. Today we have about 200,000 manuscripts in under contract as MOUs. Our team is 60.
Hmm.
It's grown from 0 to 60. We need to grow this team to about 200
Hmm.
to achieve our goal. We set ourselves a goal that we will catalog 25 lakh manuscripts, 2.5 million manuscripts by 2042. तो उसके लिए मेरे को कैपेसिटी आज चाहिए 1.5 लाख मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट. To get to that capacity, I need a team of 260 people. So I need to quadruple.
Hmm.
Now the family is funding the present program
Hmm.
to the tune of 5 crores a year.
Hmm.
And it is funding all the capex.
Hmm.
So every person who joins needs a computer because that's how
Right.
they've got to work, and so on and so on.
A place.
All of that,
Yeah.
place,
Hmm.
all of that, the family is funding.
Hmm.
I mean, even storing images is very expensive.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
So the next thing that Sangrah really needs is this ability to find funds, donor
Right.
funds,
Hmm.
who will support the recruitment of Sanskrit scholars
Hmm.
who can do this cataloging work,
Hmm.
and a very small but effective field force.
Hmm.
In my overall planning, a field force of 5 or 7 people
Hmm.
doing digitization in different parts of India
Hmm.
will give us the 150,000 manuscripts that we need every year. But we need 200 people, 240 people doing the cataloging.
Hmm.
So we're a team of 60,
Hmm.
and we're doing what we're doing today, funded entirely by the family.
Hmm.
But the next step will come from donor funds.
Absolutely.
So that to me is one of the challenges. Otherwise, finding the people, we're getting better. We're learning,
Right.
and most of it is word of mouth. होता क्या है, जैसे किसी गांव में
Hmm.
एक वैद्य जी थे, आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर, and there were 3 generations of Vaidyas, starting say from 1850 to the last person who was alive maybe in 1990s. His next generation did not take up Ayurveda. So, but these people have a collection of Ayurvedic and other manuscripts.
Hmm.
The same applies to Pandits who may have astrology and astronomical things, or Vedic scholars who may have Vedic things,
Hmm.
or just general Sanskrit scholars who may have a lot of interesting things.
True.
And the modern generation, because their parents and their grandparents used to revere these things, तो उनको इज्जत देते थे, उनकी पूजा करते थे, तो ये भी पूजा करते हैं. This is part of the family tradition. We've got to do this.
Hmm.
But then there comes a time when the family is grown and they need space, and अभी इसका क्या करने का?
Hmm.
So then it becomes a problem.
Hmm.
And this is where people like us, and India needs a lot more people like us to come in and say, right, there is a way out.
Hmm.
You can donate these things to libraries. You can get them digitized and then, deal with it.
Hmm.
So वो काम जो करने का है, that's an important work, and that's the kind of work we're doing.
Hmm.
Sadly, there are families who will not give these things for digitization or even to a library.
Hmm.
But every time there is the shraddh of that ancestor,
Right.
they will go to the river and arpana karo these manuscripts into the river.
So sad, actually.
It is so sad.
Actually destroying
वो
the
because
legacy.
awareness नहीं है.
Hmm.
So that awareness also has to be built, which is why I keep using this word trust.
True.
Without trust, nothing works.
Mhm.
Quite simple.
Hmm.
Because what we are touching
Hmm.
is something which was sacred to somebody else.
Hmm.
And we have to touch that with respect. We have to keep their sentiments in mind. We have to keep whatever goals they have in mind. And if those goals fit our goals, then there is an MOU to be made. If they don't fit, then there is no MOU to be made. Which is why I said we are in touch with 68 libraries, and we can probably sign up 10.
Absolutely.
Because the other 58 may not today match our goals, but in a few years' time, maybe they will.
Absolutely.
At least we have identified where a collection is. So the core challenge now is building the team.
Okay.
And again, this is a knowledge work. So what we managed to do over the last 2.5, 3 years in particular, we have developed training systems. Because ultimately this is all knowledge work, and unless there is good quality, then it doesn't work well. So we've developed IT-based training systems where we can take somebody in and make them productive within 8 weeks. They can actually do the job. They just come with a Gurukul or a MA background.
Right.
Come in, and within 8 weeks you can actually be producing good quality stuff. But that's because of the IT-based training system that we put in. A couple of years ago, we started an internship program. I shouldn't call it a skill development program with the Central Sanskrit University, which was the first sort of Sanskrit skill development thing that happened in India. And where we trained 25 odd interns for 6 weeks on manuscripts and cataloging and all that. So it's an interesting place because most Sanskrit scholars will either end up as Sanskrit teachers in school, or if they manage to do their PhDs, may end up teaching. So the people that stay with Sanskrit end up there, and most others end up in government jobs or other jobs where Sanskrit is no more their core. So at least Dharohar is offering them core Sanskrit jobs, which also is I think, important.
Like you just mentioned, coming from a place like Udaipur, which has not been a Sanskrit center, you can say. It's been a very historical place. And, having a team of 65, 70 people who are working also may have its own challenges.
It does, but I think people who come from the Sanskrit world don't have a problem traveling around. It's not like IT.
Absolutely.
Where either if you're not in Bangalore or Hyderabad, you're nobody. Aisa nahi hai.
No, but this is something which you have already answered. That how does Sangra use technology to bridge the tradition and modern preservation? The gap.
Yeah.
Okay. And one thing what you mentioned is the challenge. One challenge is that you require more contributors.
Correct.
Okay, who can contribute for this cause. So how can technology people, software engineers or people who are running some software companies, they contribute to this cause apart from funding, which is one part of
fair
it,
enough.
as well as, their own capabilities and their own knowledge.
Knowledge, technology, particularly now with AI. I come from, my technology background is pre-AI.
Right.
Okay. And I think it was very late in fact, AI has only just shown up. But very late in my career, I saw it on the horizon. And I said, this is not for me to learn. And I said to my sons, be aware, this is going to be a trend.
Right.
That's when I quit business. So if there are people out there with knowledge in AI and large language models, and particularly have an interest in the area of Sanskrit, they could contribute in a big way to helping us speed up our processes, improve the quality of our processes. So yeah, I'd love to be able to pick the brains of somebody, as long as I'm not paying for them.
No, absolutely. Like I told you, it should be either in form of.
That would be very, very useful.
Absolutely. Wonderful. My last question, and I think that's the most important thing, is you will definitely have a vision, a long-term vision for Sangra. After you, and it should go for generation together, that this vision of Sangra stays. So how do you see it shaping the future of India's culture and intellectual heritage? And how could individuals participate? One is okay, people who will do it through CSR activities, or large families who can fund it. Or maybe like what you mentioned, the technology people who can contribute in their own domain expertise. But how can individuals also contribute to this cause?
First, let me answer your first question, which is what is the long term future? The long term future is that and I'm actually planning a 200-year horizon for the preservation of this data. Because the most valuable thing we will generate in the next 25 years is the data. And ensuring that this data survives for 200 years. So that's where we need to focus. Now, how do we grow? We have to grow the team. And when we are looking for donor funds, we're saying, look, just sponsor a scholar, or 2 or 5 or 10. So it costs us 6.5 lakh rupees odd to employ a cataloging scholar. So if you've got CSR funds, sponsor 2 scholars, 3 scholars, 15 scholars, 16 scholars. And the same, whatever it is, we will hire those people for you. The work they do has your company logo and sponsored by so and so. Our website will link to your website CSR page and so on and so forth. So the effect, the impact that your funding has is direct. If somebody was to say, here is 6.5 lakh rupees today, I will divert one of the scholars who's working today to their name and hire a new one. So I can add to the team like that.
Absolutely.
So and adding to the team is all it is about. We've proven that the processes work. We've proven that the technology works. All we now need is to grow the team. As I said, we're doing about 1,200,000 manuscripts a month. We have a 220,000 backlog. So you can imagine.
Absolutely.
I have to increase my pace.
True.
And I can only do that if there is funds available. Now, and that's how individuals can contribute. We do take interns. Interns, even in IT, we take. In machine learning, maybe we are thinking of being able to take. So that's how individual contributors can, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is going to be the ability to sponsor scholars.
Any any advice you would give our young generation? India is a young economy. Average age being 28, 29. And I'm sure, I don't know how much they will be able to correlate with this, but what advice you would give the young generation at large?
It's a very common question. Okay. And I don't think any one of us can give advice to the younger generation.
Right.
But what I'd like to see them do is aspire for the sky, but stay firmly grounded. If you don't have ambition, if you don't have aspiration, you don't achieve. But having achieved, if you forget your roots, then you haven't done what is right for society. So I don't think I want to give them any advice, but that's what I'd like to see them do.
No, wonderful. And with these inspiring words, thank you very much again, for taking time out.
Thank you, Nilesh, for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, this cause, which is such a noble cause, and it's very different.
Yes.
This will definitely spread more, and we'll see more and more people who contribute for this cause. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot, Nilesh. Thank you.